That work? I think that works. Let me take off my mini parse so you can see that. Oh no, wait, that's right. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so this is the kill attempt. This is our world 6th clear. There's not gonna be any audio though. So I guess I can talk about a few things here. The initial damage going on in the raid, there's just some spike damage on the main tank here, but it's not a big deal. You'll heal it before the raid damage. So, snapshot here. This is our opening burst, voiced foes, and you can just see what the voiced foes is doing here for the casters. I mean, Kazu's at 2.3k damage. He's our black mage. I'm at 900. Midi's at 1,000. So we're getting like 4.3k caster DPS here. Not even including Happy probably did a Raiton, which would be affected by it too. So, just burst DPS. So I'm thinking here, splashes are coming out, and I just Tetra'd Rochelle, because he's about to get cleaved. Right there. The first thing it does after the Proteans, like, I'm thinking ahead, like, I know a cleave is coming, Tetra ahead of time. I know the next thing is splashes, so I'll pop Divine Seal. Everybody's low from the Proteans, so you need more healing than the... Normally splashes don't kill people, they just bring them low. So I need more healing than they have HP. The goal here is to have Midi be able to DPS through this whole splash without having to stop and heal. So the goal is Medica 2 precast before the splashes hit, and then a combination of a Size and Medica, but I don't know if I was using the Medica yet. So precast Medica 2, a Size goes out immediately, and then should be Swiftcast Medica, I believe. Yeah, there's a Swiftcast Medica. And then around that time is when the main tank, or the off tank's Berserk is about to wear off, so the next thing is Cure the Pacify. This is all stuff we practice, like this script is completely written. Actually, I can't see the stream chat right now, so let me pop that over. That didn't work. That is, that is the wrong one. There we go. Okay, I got it back. I just realized I couldn't see the stream chat. Alright. I don't know if this is helpful. Stop me if you want to ask any specific questions. I'm just sort of going through this because there's not much else to do. While we wait for patch notes. So, Medica 2, a Size, Swiftcast Medica, heal the pacification, and then get a regen back on Rochelle. The goal is to heal as little as possible, but still get everyone out so I can start DPSing. There's no cleave here. There's just Sluice, so there's no damage on the tank, so there's no rush. So I pop Cleric Stance and start casting a DPS spell, even though the tank is at a third HP. Because I know he's got a regen. The Fairy is not going to be healing anyone in the raid because everyone's full, so the Fairy and the regen are ticking on him, and we have plenty of time before the next cleave. So into DPS, all 3 dots, Fluid Aura. And you can see he's back to full HP. I didn't have to cast anything. And that's just knowing the fight. It's not a healing strategy, that's just I memorized where the damage is coming. And then there's one more splash. If everyone's at full HP, it doesn't kill them. So my only goal here is to get everyone enough HP to live through the splash, and then let the regens finish them up. So one Medica 2 does that. And the rest is one cleave on Rochelle, which is coming right now. So I'm prepared for it. Got the cleave done. And like, all of my healing is based on knowing what is coming next. Like the next damage that comes out, I have it in my head and I'm prepared for it with a precast spell to handle it. Removing the Pacify, don't you have Celine out? We do. We do, but she's not very good at it. Like, if you've ever tried to remove the pacification, like, consistently from Celine, it's very fickle. Like, sometimes she just wants to cast Embrace and she's not going to stop for anything. So the 150 melded accessories would still be better even if you could get your hands on the 210. Yes. 150 is better. Because 210 you have to choose Vit or Strength, and the combination of Vit and Strength combined is still greater on the 150 melded if you cap out the stats. Alright, so I'm going to keep going. If you have any questions or want me to stop or anything, like, feel free to suggest it in the chat. I'm just trying to bridge the gap here until the patch notes go live. So here, we're in the new phase. I can't do anything, so precast regen on the tank and eye for an eye. Because the next few hits are 2 auto attacks, which can hit for anywhere from 6,000 to 9,000 if it crits. So precasting these cures here to land it on him right as the damage goes out. So precast cure tops him again. Precast cure tops him again. And the reason I'm precasting those is because if he gets crit, the cleave is suddenly really scary. You know, if your tank that only has 16k HP gets hit for 9,000, he can be one-shot by the cleave. So why not have some accessories strength and some accessories vit? Because you get more total strength and vit from the melded. I can actually give you numbers if you want. So let me get crafted gear and scale down to 150. And scroll down to the rings. So for example, a ring, a Gordian Ring of Slaying adds 47 strength. So that's 47. If you combine strength and vit, like add them together, you get 47 out of the 210 ring. And if you meld a crystallite ring, you get a total of 29 plus 31, which is 50 combined strength and vit. So you gain, I guess it's only 2, but I mean 3 rather. So if you have a 210, I guess if you have 210 of everything, like if you have options, you could combine strength and vit accessories, but you see that even if you have full 210 and options, you still are still weaker than the melded accessories. Like the melded accessories are better. 3 main stat per slot times 5 slots means you're missing out on 15 effective strength plus vit together, which is a big deal. That's a lot of strength and vit combined. Yeah, if you have full 210, you can probably get away with combining strength and vit accessories, and no one's going to notice. But the point is, with the best in slot accessories, the 150 is still better. Plus, you can customize the last meld slot to add accuracy, if you need it, or another secondary slot, or secondary stat. You can pick what you want. Add it to 60? Am I wrong? Let me look again. It's 29 plus 31. That does add to 60. You're right. I'm wrong. That's even worse. So it's 13 combined strength and vit per slot. That's absolutely huge. Yeah, it's no question. You get the melded accessories or you get out. if you're wanting to bring what you can to a raid. They're way too strong. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue. Sorry, I have best war gear sets. I can't really help you with that if someone else wants to. Basically, anything that gets you the accuracy. 210 and has accuracy. Melded accessories. If you really think you can get away with full strength accessories, go for it. If you really don't need the vit. A lot of our progression tanks were running 3 melded and 2 slaying 210 accessories. So 3 melded 150s and 2 210 slayings in progression, because we're trying to push DPS as hard as we can. But it's sort of up to you. Full melded is a nice mixture of offense and defense. But I would assume at this point don't plan on clearing a 4 Savage anytime soon, so the SO body upgraded is going to be solid for every single job. Like, that's the first thing you go for, is the SO body. And if you do manage to clear A3 Savage, you know, goal to twine the body as soon as you can. It's a solid buy. Alright. So the cleave comes out here. I was going to say, this is after we just switched to hand phase and there were 2 autos. I'm overhealing Rochelle because crits here have killed him instantly before. And then it's 1 Medica 2, everyone's below half. 1 Medica 2, and leave it alone. There's an Indom there too from the Scholar. To top everyone. And I think I actually DPS here. Yeah, Cleric, Arrow, Fluid Aura, just adding a little bit of damage where I can. Because everyone's going to be full. Actually, it was a bit of overhealing there. We didn't need that much. I actually cast Arrow 3 there. Because I'm trying to push. We're all trying to push DPS. We're hitting the hard Enrage. It's just like, here, where's my damage happening? There's going to be 3 autos on the tank. The third one's going to be paired with the cleave that hits everyone for like 10,000 damage. Well, like 8,000 damage? So, precast, I even precasted the Cure 3 before the damage went out, because another cleave is coming. This cleave only has a danger of killing Rochelle, so all my focus is on Rochelle. He's got regen, and he's getting these precasted Cure 1s before the damage even hits, so that he's full. Just in case the boss crits, because if the boss crits, he can die instantly if you're not careful. Sorry for the questions, but in that case, would the best 3 melded to get? I'm not sure. Whichever ones you'd have to go to Ariella. If you don't know this website, this is a good place to build a gear set. You can go there and decide what accessories you wanted based on getting the Gordian gear, because I mean you're gonna get the accessories of your choice from A1 after you've cleared it 4 times. So. How do you manage mana on White Mage? Hit Shroud on cooldown and avoid Cure 2 as much as you humanly can. And don't overheal. Like I said, the way I manage mana here is I know where the damage is coming, and I heal it right after it goes out whenever I can manage to. Like, basically, like, there's no raid damage coming here, so I don't heal anyone. The Medica 2 is doing all the work, and the Fairy. And I'm just killing the tanks because the damage is all going to be on the tanks. So there's autos, autos, autos. There's a knockback here, and they split, and all the autos are on the tanks. There's no raid damage here, so I'm not healing the raid. If you heal the raid, you're losing like 1,000 MP when it doesn't really matter, because the raid's not taking damage. The raid will be full health from free spells before I need to heal the raid again. Like, Asai's is a free heal. There's going to be an Asylum here in a second, which is free healing for the raid. The Fairy is healing the raid, all free. The only thing I have to spend my MP on is the tanks. And so because I'm doing that, I'm conserving my MP. It's getting low here, but we have my MP is getting really low here, but that's just because there's a downtime coming up, and my Shroud is coming up in a few seconds. So, all the damage here, if you look actually at the stacks on the tank here, the tank that's going to get cleaved first takes up the stack before he even takes damage. So if you watch the 2 here above their stack, it changes to 3, so I'm going to try to pause it. But this is what I'm staring at, and so you can see the 3 ticks up, whoops, on Rochelle right before he eats the cleave, and then the 3 ticks up on Darien before he eats the cleave. So when I see that number tick, I can start a cure ahead of time to hit them, and then I know the damage is coming. And it's all Cure 1. Cure 2 is really MP inefficient, so if you want to conserve MP, you use Cure 2, or Cure 1, unless you have a free Cure proc. And you can completely ignore Cure 3 procs, because they're useless. Unless you need to cast Cure 3. They're not completely useless. They are very, very situational. Like, if I could hit both tanks with a Cure 3, proc, it's MP efficient to consider using, but it's not worth focusing on and taking your focus off of the other things in the fight. Which is like, if I get ahead and both tanks are topped, regenning them, getting a regen on both of them again. When we were doing this clear, right coming up is another cleave that's really dangerous because the tanks are moving right before it comes out. So this one here, they do the spread mechanic, and then there's a cleave coming. So to save me some stress, because again, Midi is still DPSing here, so to save me some stress, Rochelle would pop Living Dead here, and I wouldn't heal him, and I would just Benediction him when it procced. So you can see the red marker there. I'm letting him drop low. As soon as it turns gray, he gets a Benediction, back to full. Everything's Gucci. As Happy would say, everything's Gucci, and we're good to go. My MP is a lot lower than usual. Usually I'm hovering around 5,000 here, but all the extra DPS that I was required to put out in progression really saps your MP and makes it hard. You just gotta do what you can, and make sure to be vocal about getting Ballad if you need it. Sardigan plays me Ballad here with what he's got left of his MP, but ultimately you're on your own. And so right here I elected to stand around and look pretty for this phase because I'm healing so hard in the previous phases. It's worth it more for me to recover my MP in this phase and heal as minimally as possible so that I can be ready for the last phase, because there's a lot of damage in the last phase. So that's what I'm thinking about here. So almost exclusively like a size, Medica 2, and regens are all I'm doing. And sometimes Fluid Aura if I don't need to heal for a while. But I got a Ferrofluid there, so... Tanks are picking up their tethers, so the damage is going out on the tanks, but they don't need really much more than a regen. So I'm just putting regens on them. And just using Cure 1 because the HOTS aren't going to top them before they need heals again, so... I used Cure 2 there because it was a free Cure proc, which you can see wearing off down there. Yeah, you can see I've managed to recover a decent amount of MP here. I've gone up to 5,000 almost, and my Shroud is coming up, and my X-Ether, so I'm in good shape. I'm in such good shape actually that I'm using Stone 1 to slow the lubricants. I was not doing anything, but you can see I'm adding Stone 1, I'm adding Fluid Aura. It's just about doing what you can, whatever you can get away with. I'm auto-attacking because 59 damage is important. There's nothing else for me to do, so might as well be auto-attacking. You never know when that 59 damage will make the difference. And here, there's Asylum down and a Medica, so I don't really need to cast any more AoE heal. My goal is to get a Divine Sealed Medica 2 up after the Cascade, and let that do some work, instead of wasting MP on Cure 3 or 2 Medicas before the Cascade. You know, you let the regens top everyone, save MP, and just do what you can. So everybody's not full on. The goal is just, I need to make my MP go the distance. So leaning on my Shroud and leaning on my HOTS. So the splashes, don't panic, you know. There's AoE damage coming, but there's no huge rush. I'm mostly focused on the tank during the splashes. I think I blew my Tetra there, which I really shouldn't have. I should have saved it. There was no rush. This is actually a bit overheal. We shouldn't be that. I overhealed a bit, but you know, it happens. So this is Sluice followed by Protean, so we have very fixed positions. I'm trying to bait the Protean here to be shot at Happy, so we have a little more room to stand. So we spread out for Sluice, and then the Protean's going out. So there's a bunch of raid damage. The Sluice brought everyone to half. And now coming up here in a second is the second hit of Protean, which is going to hit everyone for about 7,000. So you can see if it hit right now, it would kill Yan and Sardigan, maybe Kazu, and Midi. And Medica 2 isn't going to be enough. So I specifically saved my Assize here for a little long. I timed it so I used it early on in the Tornado phase, so it's up here. Because I have to move out of the way of this Protean, move up into melee range so Mr. Happy can see that I'm not standing behind him. So I move out of the way, get up here, and I'm moving so I can't cast. I could swift cast if I needed to, but my goal is here to run all the way up into melee range and Assize, and it heals everyone up before the second hit here. And I think that Midi also Indomitability's there to make sure everyone lives. And then in my head I'm thinking, what's the next damage? The next damage is a cleave on the tank. So there's a cleave coming out here, so I'm thinking Rochelle. So there's a Cure 1, and there was the cleave, it happened already. So, splashes, but everyone's at full health, so that nobody's going to die. It's like the mentality of healers, what's coming next? Is it really? Good. I'm glad it's helpful. But it's just, this is why I actually like healing so much, is if you really want to be an effective healer, you want to heal the damage, you want to actually heal damage. Like you want to heal people that are low HP. And if you want to do that, you got to heal it fast. So you don't want to be healing people that aren't going to be taking damage too, you know, in the future. So those splashes, I know it's not going to kill anyone, so I want to raid heal, but it's not, you know, super critical to get everyone up quick. You see, I switch here to healing the tank again. Nobody's full, but there's a cleave coming. And it actually already happened. I missed it, but there was a cleave there. And then this is Sluice. The Sluice damage isn't going to kill anyone, and then there's Digititis. So there's literally no damage going out here. There's going to be Sluice. I can afford to move around the map. So you can see I'm going to move over here, pick up the debuff, sit down. I'm not even healing, because there's nothing to do. And then the next thing is Cascade, so there's going to be a huge raid hit, but we have plenty of time. So I'm thinking, top everyone, but take your time. And then there's a healer stun coming, so one of the healers is going to be incapacitated. So I want a Divine Seal Medica 2 after the big hit, so that we get maximum usage out of it while a healer is stunned. So if I'm targeted, my goal is a Divine Seal Medica 2 and a fresh regen on the tank while I'm stunned. So I'm thinking like, what's coming next? So Divine Seal, here comes the Cascade. I'm just preparing for the next phase. Is Medica 2, regen the tank. And so it should be Darien, there's the regen, but the stun is on midi, so I'm going to solo heal here, but it's still valuable to have that set up ahead of time. So now I know AoE damage, but it's not going to kill anyone, it's just splash, which is the same as it always is. So just take your time, but heal everyone up slowly. But I'm overhealing. I didn't have to, but I am. Shroud came up, so I'm watching my cooldown. You gotta hit that Shroud, you can't miss it. If you miss Shroud, you're gonna be completely MP starved. It's like one of the things you end up like when you're learning healing. You forget you'll get down to 0 MP and go, oh, I forgot to Shroud, and that's awful on White Mage. It's the same thing with Aetherflow on Scholar. If you ever forget Aetherflow, you're suddenly starved. So it's just getting really good at knowing when your Shroud timings are. So there's more. I topped everyone way fast, but there's more splashes coming, so it's okay. And since I'm solo healing them, there's splashes, and then there's a cleave coming in a few seconds. So the tank needs a top, like, now. And so I Tetra'd him. You can see my Tetra went on cooldown. I Tetra'd Darien to protect him from that cleave, because he's usually in Deliverance. And then there's nothing. My co-healer's out, we can do Digi, but there's 6 splashes coming next. So it's like I have the whole rotation memorized at this point. The boss is going to do 6 consecutive splashes, so you're prepared for it. I saved my size. I didn't waste it useless here. It's specifically saved because there's a massive consecutive raid damage coming. And so I specifically held off on it for not very long, for like 15 seconds. You don't want to hold it for too long. And here it's just going to be 2 AoE heals and an Assize. It's all planned, with a regen on the tank, because again, the tank is still eating auto attacks here, so he needs a regen. But between 2 AoE heals and an Assize, everyone should be full health. With the Asylum regen. And there they are, they're full health, just in time for the Cascade. So you just not overdoing it. You know, a lot of healers will cure 3 there because there's so much raid damage. But you can budget it with things like Assize and Asylum to make it so you don't have to blow so much MP. Topping everyone, and as a result I end up here at like 6,000 MP, and we're about to go into a phase where there's not very much raid damage, so I'll be able to recover MP, which is good. Where's that link that Rubik's posted? I forgot. There we go. Okay, there's still no patch notes. Just double checking if there's patch notes out. I can make a highlight if you want, Chris. Okay, so I know upcoming is a low damage phase. There's no AoE except for Sluice, and Sluice is not going to be fatal. So 1 Medica 2 is enough to get through this phase, and I can regenerate MP. You'll see me doing just a lot of regen, single target heals on people, just not healing very much. I should be chilling out and recovering my MP. So I'm dealing with Rochelle was actually mad at me for that. He was hoping I'd run away from him so he didn't have to go over there, but we got the Ferrofluid because he adapted very quickly to my positioning. But yeah, it goes Cascade, and then there's Ferrofluid. There's Cascade, there's 1 cleave, which was easy. And then after Ferrofluid, there's a cleave coming, and the tank just got bounced around, so what I'm thinking is there's going to be a cleave. I don't know where it's going to be, so I'm just moving. Get out of the way and regen, because obviously he's about to get clobbered. And the next thing coming out is going to be a tether. Again, this is all memorized. There's going to be a tether that Darien has to pick up. It's a tank buster. But he's not going to die from it, so all he really needs is a regen. So that's all I give him, is a regen. In hindsight, I could have used Tetra here to save some MP, because I don't really need Tetragrammaton in this phase, so I could have used that instead of a heal. But I'm regening the people that get... These tornadoes also do ambient damage. They like attack single target. So they hit Sardigan, and they hit Kazu here with single targets. So I'm just getting them regened. Again, because a lot of times that damage hits the same person twice. And they just need enough health to survive Sluice. This looks so scary. The ball spawns here, and it's flying right toward Kazu. But he's out of the way. So I'm like staring at the ball going, are we wiping? Is it gonna hit him? Are we gonna wipe? But again, Darien has the regen here. He got hit with a Contaminate, so he's actually not high enough health to survive. So he's gonna get a single target heal from me. Right there is a Cure 1, just to survive the Tank Buster. There it is. And I'm moving out of the way for Sluice. Again, it's not fatal. And there's one more cleave on Rochelle, which looks actually kind of dangerous right now. I think I'm off guard. I think I'm probably going to Tetra him. Nope, just Cure 2. Yeah, and he's fine. See, that took him below half, though, so if I wasn't ready for that damage, it could have killed him. Yeah, I didn't use Tetra at all. See, in hindsight, I totally should have used Tetra more here. But, I mean, I didn't review the footage too much. And you really need to get the AoE heals going here because there's a lot of raid damage in the next after that Cascade. We're starting over, so this is the same as the first phase when we first got to Cascade. So I'm thinking like everyone needs to be topped with or not topped, but like half health with a Medica 2. Rochelle is a little low here, but he's not tanking. Darien is tanking. And that's communication, you know. I don't need to heal Rochelle because Darien is the one that's got the aggro. There's a cleave. He's got it inner beasted. At some point I shrouded, I wasn't paying attention, but again, that was really important. If I'd missed that shroud, I'd be at 0 MP right now, because shroud gives you like 5,000 or 6,000 MP back. So, yeah, next, this is the one from the beginning of this phase, where it was Sluice, and then Protean. So the damage is going to be like 6,000 raid damage, and then everybody's going to run around, and then there's going to be like 7,000 more raid damage on random people. So the goal is everyone's topped with shields, and then my Asai should be ready, and it is. You can see here I've had it for a little bit, but I saved it here because I can use this to raid heal. And I'd use it right there. Everyone's at full health for the second hit, and nobody dies. Coming up next is more raid damage, so the goal is get everybody up. See, I'm too low. I'm going to die to the raid damage if I don't heal myself. But between just the so we over raid heal a little bit here because I needed it, and it's useful. Because everyone's going to be knocked down. And now there's not much. There's more tank cleaves, so I'm focusing on the tank more. But there's just this one Sluice, and then there's not much more raid damage. So you can see not everybody's full. So I top people or don't top people based on how much damage is coming. Let us hear your nerd screams. I can turn it on for the nerd screams. So running around Digi. And then there's Cascade coming, so let's get everybody full. My MP's really low here, so I think I've been overhealing quite a bit, actually. So I'm really hoping that I get targeted, and I don't get targeted, so I probably start begging for Ballad here. Yeah, and you can see there goes Ballad. Because I have to solo heal this phase with only 2k MP. And that's mainly because Midi was targeted with both of the healer stuns. If I'd been targeted with a healer stun, I get a massive MP recovery. So, that's just bad luck. But we can make up for it with Ballad because we're slightly ahead. We're not slightly ahead. We're like 100 below the raid DPS requirement. But we have LB3 coming. LB3 adds a bunch. It's like another 100. So we're really close. And we get to cleave 2 targets here, so we're going to get a DPS boost right here. But Ballad really hurts the Bard's MP. I mean, hurts the Bard's damage, and it's also time not spent singing foes, which is more damage for all the casters. So, sadly, sometimes you need the Ballad. My Shroud is coming up. I'm probably staring at it. Hopefully, I'm staring at it. Don't be a bad white mage, Kyo. Yeah, okay. I got it within like 4 seconds. That's acceptable. And again, Asai's is coming up. It's timed. I time my Asai's in this phase, or in this fight, so that they come up right when I need them. Which, after Digi, is 6 splashes. So I'm hopefully ready. I don't have Asylum, so I'm probably going to overheal. overhealing these 6 splashes. As soon as damage is hitting the raid, heals are hitting the raid. Medica 2, a size, and then right back to single target heals because the cleave is coming. Everything is ahead of time. And I'm back at 7,000 MP because Shroud and Ballad. And so Sardigan probably switches here. Yeah, he's not singing Ballad anymore. So it's probably foes. And you can see that LB3 pushed us over the DPS requirement. The DPS requirement for this fight's about 6,050. So we're over it now. We just gotta keep it going. I'm not gonna talk about this phase too much because it's the same as the last time. Rochelle ate the Tank Buster. Or no. No, it hasn't come out yet. He was just low from tanking phase 2. So I regen him to get him topped. He actually got contaminated there. For the tether, which is coming out. Or no, I'm wrong. I'm calling this wrong because I was talking about DPS. I'm lost on the phase. That was the second set of throttles. That's the ball spawning. So yeah, there it is on the left side of the screen. Yeah, so this is the second tank tether. So Rochelle gets an APOC, and he has a regen. Again, he has the regen there, so I don't have to focus him, because that's going to be enough for him to live through all the requirements. And now we're getting close to Enrage. 12 minutes and 18-second encounter time. I'm pretty sure it's 12:30, roughly. So we might have a mechanic or two here coming, but then it's going to be the Enrage cast. So I'll let you guys enjoy our nerd screams here in a second. So we got a Ferrofluid. Sometimes he skips this if you're at Enrage. It's at 12:30, but he got the Ferrofluid out, so it's probably going to cast, but you never know. We died to splashes here. Yeah, but he's starting the Enrage cast, so Cascade. I was ready to AoE heal, but I didn't have to, so I'll switch to Cleric stance. And I'll just let the video take over, I guess.
Oh, so my fucking god! Oh, sorry! Fucking! I was the only one alive!
Dude, I was so fucking sad!
Oh my god, that looks exactly like the collision turn 13 kill. That's exactly what that looks like.
I was sad for the fucking longest time, dude.
Alright, that's our nerd screams. So much tension. Patch notes, are they out yet? Refresh the page.